Hi everyone, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm super excited to share some Alpha Trion Protocol Wave 4 spoilers with everyone. At Alpha Trion Protocols, we've been working hard on the design and playtesting of new cards to support the competitive scene, and these cards that I'm going to be talking about in particular, I'm really excited about because they do two things I'm really passionate about. They are Junkion format cards, which means that their rarity status is common. Now, since the Alpha Trion Protocol cards are all free to print to play, like rarity doesn't really mean what it used to. Now it's more of a delineator between if you can play it in Titan 1 or if you can play it in Junkion. The reason I like to push Junkion as a format is because if I've got a buddy who wants to play, I can give them, a bunch of official common cards, and then they've got the print to play ATP cards, and then they have spent almost no money, or if they spent some money, it's very little, and they can get up and going, and it's been a lot of fun to play that format. It's also gone a lot of changes in the meta. So back in December, it was a heavy blue meta at the time. The ATP 3 cards came out, and the meta shifted much more aggro. Now, like 4-wide aggro is the way to go. These two cards that I'm going to be talking about, I'm very excited to see what effect they have on the meta. The other thing they do is that they support some existing official cards, which I always like when we're able to do that. Whether it's through retro stratagems, new characters that synergize with older characters, battle cards, things like that. I'm always excited when, the Wizards of the Coast cards that may have been a little under the curve get some additional support. The first thing I want to talk about real quickly are Seekers. So Seekers came out starting in ATP 2, and they've gotten support since then. Right now, as of ATP 3, there are 4 Seeker cards out. And we've got Dirge, who is an uncommon, Ramjet, who is a rare, Starscream, who is a rare from ATP 3, and then Thrust back in ATP 2 was a common. Now, we purposely designed these cards at different rarity levels to see if, Thrust could maybe just make an impact on the Junkion scene by himself, if the rest of the Seekers could kind of do their own things. And then you build a team. Like I've played Dirge, Thrust, Starscream. There's a list, a couple I can share by like Santini and Blue vs. Orange TCG. Seekers have been a lot of fun to play. But if you notice, if I'm talking Junkion, the only Junkion Seeker is Thrust. He is a common, he's 7 stars, and he says that your starting star limit increases by 1 if you only have Seekers on your starting team. He's brave, and then that's alt mode. In bot mode, he switches from 4-10-1 to a 5-10-1, and he gives all of your Seekers bold 1. And then he has a revenge mechanic, so when he dies, you can play an upgrade from your scrap pile on one of your planes or Seekers. So he synergizes with planes, he synergizes with Seekers, he's a lot of fun to play. Notice it says if you only have Seekers on your starting team, then your starting star limit goes up by 1. In Junkion, there's only 1 Seeker, so how do we get the starting Seeker team in a Junkion format? Well, we are going all the way back to Wave 1, and we're going to talk about Ramjet Sky Smasher. He's 10 stars, he is a pure vanilla character, there's nothing on his text box. He's a 7-14-0 in plane mode, and then a 4-14-2 in bot mode. So for 10 stars and not having any sort of card effect, obviously he's pricey. He hits like a truck in plane mode, but what the ATP card, the first ATP 4 card that I'm revealing does, it's called Simple, Sure, Steady. It's for Ramjet Sky Smasher. It's a stratagem. It's 1 star. Your Ramjet Sky Smasher becomes a Seeker. So baseline, now he's going to be a Seeker. That means that if you're playing him in the Junkion format, then Thrust here is going to give him that bold 1. So now he's going to be swinging 7 bold 1, or 4 bold 1 with his defense. It also gives him +1 defense baseline. So he's got at least 1 defense in plane mode, and now he's got 3 defense in robot mode, which really helps him out. He does become 11 stars, but if you do manage to get a Seeker lineup, then you get an extra star from having the stratagem here. If your starting team, again, was only Seekers, your deck can now have up to 1 extra star of cards, as well as Thrust says the same thing in plane mode. So you're playing a 7-star and a 10-star and a 1-star stratagem. That is 18 stars. You'd have 7 left, but now your star total boosts up by 2. You can play 27 stars instead of 25. I've had a lot of fun with him. It's been fun to see the playtesters play with him. You might be asking, okay, well, that's 2 Seekers. We've got Thrust and we've got Ramjet. Who's the third? Well, that is... And that is why I am really excited to try out the Junkion Seeker team at the next Junkion event. I think it's going to be a ton of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. So the next card I want to spoil is the battle card Aerial Superiority. This is a Decepticon utility upgrade. You can only put it on planes, helicopters, or Seekers. You can put it on non-Decepticon cards, but it can be searchable with things that search, like Decepticon upgrades. When the upgraded character does attack damage to an enemy that has fewer stars than it, do 1 damage to each enemy that has fewer stars than the attacker. So this means that you put it on your character, it gets +1 defense, it swings into someone that's smaller than it. Now everyone across the field that is smaller than it takes some damage. So if someone's playing 3 wide with a big guy and you go after the smaller guy, you're not ignoring the other smaller partner. You can hit both. You put it on your big planes, your big Seekers. 10-star like characters that I want to play around with this, like Windsweeper is going to be fun. There's a couple Star Screams I want to try it with. But the big one, like, Jetfire, Siege Jetfire was a personal favorite of mine playing in the Wave 3, Wave 4 meta. I don't know if this is enough to bring like Jetfire back, but I'm really looking forward to Captain Jetfire. But the big one that you can try out, especially since this card is a common, Ion Storm is a big 12-star plane, a Raider Ion Storm. We do have this Ramjet that sits there at 10 stars. That's pretty big, especially if right now the meta tends to be 4 wide. There's probably not another 10-star across the field. They're a little smaller than that. Overlord is a plane, so he can start slapping down fools even harder. I don't 100% know if you'd play it with Overlord, but it might be worth checking out. It does help his defense. The other big thing that I really like about Aerial Superiority is that since it's a common card, and we're talking Junkion format, if you watched some previous gameplay footage of mine, I played the last Junkion event with a deck that was inspired by the brilliance of Henry, and Henry Andel, another Alpha Trion Protocol member, and he inspired me to play Dreadwing. It's a deck that's sideboarded into Dreadwing. Now, Dreadwing is a 16-star plane. He is also Junkion legal. So you can have a very big plane that you could play Aerial Superiority onto. And then when he attacks and you flip a black pip, there's automatic pierce damage. Everyone smaller than him. And in Junkion, everyone is smaller than him. But everyone's going to be taking 1 damage, which I'm looking forward to. And the other super exciting thing about Dreadwing is he can play 2 of these things. He gets 2 utility slots, right? So like I'm very much looking forward to just seeing if I can pull any shenanigans off by loading Dreadwing up with this and then just pinging everyone for 1 damage. Now, of course, Sturdy does turn Aerial Superiority off. So there is play around this ability. This is doing damage, this is not moving damage, so Hollow Mana Projector turns it off. There's things to play around with it. And it is a pipless card. The value of this card was definitely recognized in playtesting. So we made sure that it didn't have any pips. But yeah, there's planes, there's helicopters, whirl, things like that. I am very much looking forward to seeing what kooky things people cook up with Aerial Superiority. And obviously it's designed to synergize around Seekers, and we'll see what happens. I'm really looking forward to the Junkion format in Alpha Trion Protocols Wave 4. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. The new cards just get me excited to play more. It's been really fun to see new people joining the game even after it's not officially supported anymore. It's been fun to see the league games growing, the casual games growing, the monthly and daily events growing. So if you at all want to check out the cards and play with us, come on down and join us. Alpha Trion Protocols, we're nestled in the Vector Sigma server, and we are playing games and hanging out and having a good time, and I hope to see you then. All right, bye everyone.